welcome to a special edition of Boxing After Dark. Tonight, a doubleheader from fight-crazed Guadalajara, Mexico, where local sensation Canelo Alvarez, boxing's youngest title holder at just 20 years of age, makes the first defense of his 154-pound belt in front of almost 12,000 adoring fans here at Arena VFG. His opponent, veteran Englishman Ryan Rhodes, will be walking into the Lion's Den when he faces off against the young star later this evening. But before we get to Alvarez versus Rhodes, we have a 10-round affair in the 130-pound division as Adrien Broner faces off with Jason Litzau. We welcome you inside the Vicente Fernandez Arena in Guadalajara, Mexico for HBO's Boxing After Dark. Hello again, everyone. I'm Bob Papa. So glad you can join us for tonight's exciting doubleheader. Let's face it, Canelo Alvarez is like a rock star here in Guadalajara, Mexico. He's the top headliner on all the sports shows. He headlines in the newspapers. He does all the media, and he's got the record to show for it. He'll turn 21 next month. He is a dynamic force. Joining me here at ringside, HBO boxing analyst Roy Jones Jr. And Roy, what is it about Canelo Alvarez that has this region and this country starstruck?
Well, it's just like we said, he's different. He's something spectacular. He's different because he has different color hair, he has different color skin, he has freckles, and it's something like we've never seen before. He's almost like a Mike Tyson, but the Mexican version. He can punch, he's going to be there to be hit, but at the end of the day, usually he's still standing.
Well, he'll be taking on 34-year-old Englishman Ryan Rhodes, who's looking for redemption in his own mind. 13 and a half years ago, Rhodes fought for a world championship at 160 pounds, and he lost a 12-round decision to Otis Grant. Now, Roy is going to step aside here because in our first bout between Jason Litzau and Adrien Broner, you have a promotional interest in Jason Litzau. So we'll see you for the main event this evening, Roy.
Thank you.
All right, with that said, HBO boxing analyst Max Kellerman is not with us this evening here in Guadalajara, Mexico. He and his wife are expecting the birth of their second son. So for 25 years, second baby, for 25 years, Harold Letterman has been scoring fights for HBO and doing a great job. And he's developed a late-night cult-like following. But tonight we move him into prime time. He will call our first bout of the evening between Jason Litzau and Adrien Broner. And Harold, it's great to have you ringside here to call the fight. Tell us a little bit stylistically about this fight and the unique circumstances of this ring.
Well, you know, Bob, it's great to make your pro debut, so to speak, with a great fight. And tonight we have a great fight. The 130-pound division, junior lightweight, is dominated by fighters that come from outside the United States. Tonight we have Adrien Broner from Cincinnati, Ohio, facing off against the very tall 5'10" Jason Litzau from St. Paul, Minnesota. Litzau is absolutely the reason why people watch boxing on HBO. He comes to win, he comes to knock you out. I mean, he just goes out there looking to kill you. I mean, you know, there's no holding back with Jason Litzau. In his last fight, he beat one of the most renowned world champions, Celestino Caballero. Litzau was a 13-1 underdog. He won a split decision on HBO with Caballero. Tonight he gets a shot against Broner, and, you know, possibly after this he could get a title shot. On the other hand, Adrien Broner, the shorter man, but spectacular record, 20-0, 16 knockouts. Doesn't get better than that, folks. But, you know, he's a boxer. And unfortunately, the ring tonight here in Guadalajara is only 18 feet. It's a very, very small ring. Broner doesn't have much room to move around. He's going to have to use his punching ability to hold off the much taller Litzau. So it looks like it's going to be a sensational fight at junior lightweight tonight, with the winner possibly moving up very high in the ratings.
Well, we'll find out, Harold, if Broner will be able to use that small ring and be able to move away from the bigger and stronger, more powerful Jason Litzau. Adrien Broner, 20-0 with 16 knockouts, coming off that controversial win against Daniel Ponce de Leon on HBO's Boxing After Dark. Very close fight. Some ringside observers thought it went the other way. Jason Litzau, on the other hand, feels that he's at his career best, and he says tonight he's going to shine. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape for our first bout of the evening. Broner at 21 years of age. Litzau is at 27. Slight height advantage in favor of Litzau by 2 inches. And at the weigh-in, Litzau 130 pounds. Broner comes in at 128.5 pounds. Time for the introductions as we send it to our ring announcer, Joe Martinez.
Vamos, caballeros. En vivo de HBO y Televisa Deportes, buenas noches y bienvenidos a una noche de boxeo espectacular de la Arena Vicente Fernández de Guadalajara, Jalisco, México. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening and welcome to the Arena Vicente Fernández here in Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico for tonight's event, an evening of world-class championship boxing for your enjoyment. Esta primera pelea está pactada por 10 asaltos por el título vacante Superpluma de los Estados Unidos CMB. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen, our first attraction tonight, 10 rounds scheduled for the vacant USNBC Super Featherweight Championship. Presentada por, brought to you by Golden Boy Promotions, Canelo Promotions, en asociación con R&R Promotions, Roy Jones Jr., Square Ring Promotions y De Bella Entertainment. Patrocinada por, sponsored by Corona, cerveza más fina, DeWalt Power Tools, Guaranteed Tough, AT&T, Rethink Possible, y Juegos Panamericanos 2011, la Fiesta de América. Supervisor de CMB, the supervisor for the WBC in attendance, Rex Walker. Los tres jueces por este combate, the three judges scoring this bout at ringside, Ed Kugler, David Sutherland y Chris Tellez. And your referee in charge of the action, referee Curtis Thrasher. Presentando primero la esquina azul con los pantaloncillos, bandera de México y una bandera de los Estados Unidos. Su peso, 158 kilos, 800 gramos. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the colors of Mexico and the United States. He weighed officially 129 3/4 pounds. Su récord excelente con 28 victorias, 21 victorias por nocaut y solamente 2 derrotas. His professional record stands 28 victories, including 21 wins coming by way of knockout and just 2 defeats. Clasificado número 4 por CMB. He is a number 4 rated super featherweight by the WBC from St. Paul, Minnesota, USA. Here is Jason, the American Boy Litzau. Y su oponente en la esquina roja, con los pantalones rojo con dorado y un peso de 58 kilos, 300 gramos. His opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wears red, trimmed in gold, and weighted officially 128 1/2 pounds. Su récord perfecto con 20 victorias, 16 por nocaut. He is perfect in the ring. 20 victories, no defeats, 16 wins coming by way of knockout. Clasificado número 8 por CMB, rated number 8 by the WBC. De Cincinnati, Ohio, USA, el invicto, the undefeated, Adrien, the problem Broner.
All right, here we go, Adrien, right here. All right, here we go. Okay, gentlemen, we spoke earlier in the dressing room. I expect you to obey my commands at all times. Protect yourself at all times. Anything below here is low. Anything below here is low. Touch them up, fellas. Good luck.
The 130-pound division is nondescript, with the champions dotted around the globe. One guy is from Cincinnati, Ohio. The other is from St. Paul, Minnesota. We're in Guadalajara. Can these two Americans in Mexico make the champions be enticed to come to them? Over 10 rounds, we may find out.
Okay, here we go. Let's go.
Underway, round number 1. Hot and humid in Guadalajara. We expect red-hot action.
Bob, you know, both these guys must be saying, I'd love a first-round knockout so they can get out of this heat, because it is brutally hot here, folks.
Litzau coming off that defining win against Caballero back in November. Really points to the birth of his third daughter, Olivia, a year and a half ago. Came from a very, very difficult upbringing. His parents were in trouble. Lived in foster homes, lived with different relatives. Came up the hard way, panhandling at the Mall of America in Minnesota.
Nice right hand to the body, Bob, by Jason Litzau.
But was able to stay on the straight path. Turned pro in 2002, has logged 145 rounds, but as he said, for about 5 years, all I did between fights was party. I looked at myself one day and said, how can a professional athlete do this in between performances? And he said when his daughter Olivia was born a year and a half ago, the light went on, and he said, all I want to do is provide for my 3 daughters, be a good father, make as much money as I can, and I'm going to be a pro. And his last 2 fights have been defining wins against Rocky Juarez and Caballero. He says he's at the best he's ever been.
Yeah, he started slow with the Caballero fight, Bob. And once again, Jason Litzau is starting slow. Not doing much in the first round. Broner's not doing all that much, but at least he's jabbing, getting off first.
Well, we asked Broner, you know, how he was going to deal with the height advantage of Litzau. He kind of chuckled a little bit. He said, look, when I'm in the gym, I spar with middleweights. Height's not going to be a factor. We'll see if that plays out in an actual fight that counts as Broner gets on his horse in this short ring and moves away from Litzau.
Broner's the typical counter-puncher. He waits for Litzau to lead, then he looks to punch.
No, don't punch.
He did that against Daniel Ponce de Leon. We criticized him heavily, saying he was thinking the place out. You know, he just wasn't making a good fight. Once again, look at the counter-punches. Waiting for Litzau to lead, then he wants a punch.
Stop! No, stop! Punch!
Guadalajara is at an altitude of roughly over 5,000 feet. Broner spent a lot of time in Colorado Springs getting ready for the altitude. Says it has been no problem here. Glancing blow, left caught Litzau. Broner misses with some wild shots as he caught Litzau's attention.
There's no question he hurt him.
Mouthpiece is out. Good uppercut. Litzau's down. And it's over in round 1. Adrien Broner with a defining first-round stoppage of Jason Litzau.
Boy, I tell you, Bob, that was what you call a sensational knockout. My goodness. Jason Litzau, a slow starter, obviously got caught cold by a heck of a left hook, and he was just knocked dead.
Due to the ring size, we thought it might be to Litzau's advantage. Turned out it worked just fine for Adrien Broner.
Broner goes to an incredible 21-0 with 17 knockouts, and they have to move him up in the ratings without question.
Adrien Broner makes quick work of Jason Litzau to record his 17th stoppage. And his 10th first-round knockout of his career, and Litzau has now suffered 3 losses as a pro, all 3 by stoppage. Jose Hernandez got him in 06, Robert the Ghost Guerrero in 2009, and now Adrien Broner. Harold, let's take a look at how it happened.
Absolutely.
The
straight right hand was the punch that really hurt him. After that, he just teed off on him. Litzau's hands wide apart, no defense whatsoever. Really doesn't know where he is at this point. And Broner just jumped on him. Adrien Broner, a real good finisher. Look the way he jumps on him.
Well,
another good right hand.
You know,
another good left hook. Uppercut, left hook, right hand, and that's it. It's over. Good stoppage by Curtis Thrasher, new referee from Colorado. You know, if he wouldn't have stopped it there, you want to get the doctor in to look at Litzau. He was badly hurt.
Well, you know, that straight right hand hurt Litzau, and Broner just got a little wild here, and you're almost saying to yourself, just take a pause for a second and play something here because your guy's hurt. Then he sort of settled in and made the punches count, and Litzau was finished as Curtis Thrasher stepped in round number 1 and stopped the fight.
You know, Bob, he obviously realized that the first round was almost over, so he really jumped on him. I mean, you know, looked to take him out once he hurt him with that right hand, and he did it.
So Adrien Broner dismantles Jason Litzau in the first round here in Guadalajara. And Harold, you know, coming into this fight, you know, based on Litzau's last 2 performances, You know, you thought that Litzau might be able to be physical with Broner, but it was that straight right hand, and the problem, Adrien Broner caused big problems for Litzau, and he could never recover.
Bob, you're absolutely right. You know, we just like we said at the start of the first round, Jason Litzau, an incredibly slow starter. He started slow in every fight we've ever seen him in. And this fight, you know, he got caught. I mean, you know, sometimes you just have to pick it up and, you know, take it from round one on. Jason Litzau didn't do it. Broner caught him with the big right hand, and then he jumped on him and finished him.
So Adrien Broner gets his 21st win and his 17th stoppage as he does it in dominant fashion here in Guadalajara against Jason Litzau. And let's send it up to the ring for the official time of the stoppage. Here's Joe Martinez.
Damas y caballeros, 2 minutos 58 segundos de primer asalto. El referee para la pelea para el ganador por nocaut técnico. The end comes 2 minutes 58 seconds. Round number 1. Referee calls a halt to the bout for your winner by TKO victory and new USNBC Super Featherweight Champion, the still undefeated Adrien "The Problem" Broner.
Adrien Broner with an impressive performance against Jason Litzau as a straight right hand sets it up, and he finishes him off in round number 1. Litzau could never recover, and Broner was able to connect with some huge shots, and Litzau slumped against the ropes, and referee Curtis Thrasher stops the fight in round number 1. As we take a look at the final punch numbers in the fight. Total punches in the fight, Litzau landed 3 of 19 to Broner's 14 of 32, connect percentage of 44%. Broner used his power shots. Obviously, the straight right hand was the big one. 11 of 24 the total for a connect percentage of 46. And as you get a look at the power numbers, and 46% for Broner, and the one that really mattered was the straight right hand, one of those 11, which pretty much had Litzau out on his feet, and then Broner stepped in and cleaned it up and made sure that Litzau could not survive the rest of the action. And Adrien Broner comes up with the victory. All right, HBO boxing analyst Roy Jones joins us at ringside. All right, now I mentioned at the beginning of the show you have a promotional interest in Jason Litzau. Let's talk about what you saw out of Adrien Broner and how dominant he was with that right hand and then the power punches to dismantle Litzau.
We saw a mass improvement by Broner. He showed a lot of improvement, showed a lot of maturity from the last fight against Ponce de Leon. He didn't take this kid lightly like he took Ponce de Leon. He took Ponce de Leon very lightly before because he hadn't been in the ring with a top caliber fighter yet. That shows me that now he has a new respect for a top caliber boxer.
All right, Roy, let's take a look at the highlights and the straight right hand that sort of turns this fight around.
Yeah, he threw a hook straight right. The straight right landed right flush on the chin with Jason Litzau. And with Jason being such a slow starter, there was no way he was going to recover from that. And Broner was very smart to not let Jason recover, because if Jason recovers, he could have been a problem in the long run.
And then Adrien Broner steps in, the uppercut, then the left hand. He just missed with that right cross, fortunately for him. And then Curtis Thrasher stepped in and was able to stop the fight in round number 1. One more look at it again, Roy.
This hook right hand, this hook, then a straight right hand right there, beautifully placed, right on the chin, hurt Jason very bad. He couldn't get himself back together at that point, and Broner was very smart by staying on top of him, because you don't want to give a veteran with the experience that Litzau has a second chance. And the second punch that did the damage was a right uppercut you'll see coming here shortly. He come with a straight right to the ear right there, then that right uppercut right there finished matters, I thought.
Curtis Thrasher steps in and stops it in round number 1. So Adrien Broner gets his 17th stoppage here this evening, and it comes in Guadalajara, and very impressive performance as we're back here at ringside. And, well, Adrien Broner joins us. His nickname is The Problem, and your straight right hand gave Jason Litzau a problem right off the shoot. What did you see and what you were able to exploit?
Well, first of all, I want to thank God, thank HBO for giving me another shot to exploit my talent, giving me another chance. Thank Golden Boy, my new management, Shelly Finkel, and Honor Promotion as my co-promoter. But coming in, Jason, I knew he was going to come to fight. You know, 28-2, you know, 21 knockouts. He didn't just get that record for nothing. You know, he fought some people, he knocked out a lot of people, and he had some good victories in his late wins. So coming in the fight, I know I had to stay focused and listen to the corner and stick to the game plan.
Because you're slick and quick and fast, when you first stepped into that ring and you saw how small it was, were you a little concerned?
No way. You know, a lot of people, they outside looking in, so they don't know what it is like in training. In training, I'm a dog. I'm a beast. We could sit there for 20 rounds and bang it out. So I knew he couldn't go nowhere. You know, so that just helped me out.
All right, final question. I mentioned at the top of the telecast, the champions in this division are sort of spotted around the world. They're sort of nondescript. We had two Americans, the two best Americans at this weight class, fighting in Mexico. What's next for Adrien Broner? What's the next big fight for you, the fight that you want?
Sky's the limit. You know, we have to go back, sit down, go to the drawing board with the management and promotion, and we'll see then.
Well, Adrien, congratulations on the win. Very impressive, taking care of business in round one.
Thank you. I want to thank everybody from Colorado Springs, the Army base, Old Schools gym, and I want to make a big shout out to all my kids, and a very big shout out to my oldest son. He'll be 4 on Tuesday.
All right, happy birthday to your son. Congratulations.
All right.
Adrien Broner joining us here at ringside in Guadalajara, Mexico. Well, the arena, Vicente Fernandez Arena, is located about 30 minutes from downtown Guadalajara. A spectacular look at downtown Guadalajara, and the Cathedral Ascension highlights one of the many beautiful architectural wonders in Guadalajara, Mexico. And it's a big and highly energized crowd here in Guadalajara waiting to see local hero Canelo Alvarez, the sport's fastest rising young star, put his 154-pound title belt on the line against veteran Englishman Ryan Rhodes. But before we get to our main event, let's take a look at what HBO Boxing has in store for you in the weeks ahead.